Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Coffee Heaven with Chris Evans, and the real Chris Evans, not that poser that plays Captain America.
Yeah, that guy that stole your name there.
That's right. I'm, of course, your host, Kino Subway, also known as Chris Evans, and alongside my co-host that I couldn't do this without, or I'd be too nervous and thrown up in the bathroom, Mr. Sim.
Hell, brother.
And we actually have a guest today, and it is Mr. CiderHype.
Thank you for having me, especially after your corn hangover.
Yes, the corn hangover would be a long story. I'm sure nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, dude, you have to quit drinking that corn syrup. It's not good for you.
No, it was just straight corn.
Just straight corn, friends. Straight corn.
Corn.
Just let that sink in for a minute, chat. Let that sink in.
Not corn on a cob. Straight corn.
Straight corn, baby. Straight corn. Super unleaded straight corn.
You can find it on Cornhob.
Corn hub. Here we are, folks.
Oh my
Good morning.
Oh my god, that reminds me of a thing my friend sent me. It was some sort of weird, like, gay hentai porn or something. And it was like, I don't know, it was like some guy was held down and he says something, he's like, "Behold, corn!" And he holds up corn on the cob.
That sounds like a regular anime.
Inside him. Like,
yep, that sounds like even more like a regular anime.
It's just, I don't know what it was called now, but God, it was hilarious. It's just like, "Behold, corn," and they're like, "Corn."
Cornhole trigger.
It's like, remember that Rick and Morty episode when they're like, they found the planet that's perfect, but everything is on a cob? And for some kind of reason, it's a fucking problem. It just wants to run away. Everything's on a cob. Like, all the other planets are like imperfect. Like there's a problem with everyone except that one's perfect, but everything's on a cob. Let's get the fuck out.
It's like the screaming sunrise. It always gets me.
It's not that bad. How long does the day last? 2 weeks. Oh shit.
Oh Lordy. I've never really watched much Rick and Morty except for like the Me 6 episode and a couple others.
Okay, now you just did a boo-boo because you know what that means, right? You know what the Discord's gonna happen, right?
If you're looking for the link, you can find it on Simon's Twitter profile.
Thank you, Cider.
Cider, you have a much better voice for this sort of thing.
Oh,
than I.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've all been telling Cider this, dude. Remember the hype train? Dude, that freaking thing was cool.
That was great.
Yes, I loved it.
Loved the hype train.
Miss it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean?
Energy.
Oh, yeah.
I can still have that beat in my head. Come on and feel the
We don't want to get Chris copyright struck. You know how YouTube is. We might already be struck just because you thought about it.
Ooh. Yeah, but damn it.
It's been funny. It's been funny watching this. And I know it's terrible for the channels, but for me out in the audience, it's a little hilarious. They're just going on. And just because they bring up a topic, YouTube will kill their stream. Yep. But then bring it right back up. Like, oh, wait, we made a mistake, guys. It kind of reminds me of that Geico commercial of the fisherman dangling the dollar in front of him. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you almost got your live stream. Oh, you almost got it. Oh, close.
Some knows about getting hit with copyright.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Are you still blocked in the Vatican?
Yes, I'm still blocked from the Vatican City. Yes, ever since we did the Fist of the North Star there. And we started the Alita show last Saturday, and within 15 minutes we were taken out.
Well, now you know that the Pope fears Kenshiro.
Yes, and do not make a mistake of comparing Kenshiro to a Messiah.
No. This is why you should fear him.
He's
don't
like you.
Going to save you.
Nope. You didn't come and no? Nope. She just.
Oh my God! I found it.
You found what?
The behold corn thing.
Yeah,
Oh my
you can't
god.
show it because YouTube is predatory about all of it. Even if we talk over it, it's still gonna do some stupid crap to your
Look,
stream.
I used to be.
Aw, I
Remember
can't
that?
show it?
Remember in CG Manga that we did the quarter of the screen. We used to get no not have a problem with it. There's no audio. Out of nowhere, last time I got a strike. I appealed it, and it's still out. It's weird. I don't know what the hell's going on right now. It's like fair use. It's not fair use anymore.
They've got the algorithm cranked up to like 10 out of a possible 5.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a test. We're still gonna do an Alita there, but we're gonna try like no videos and see if we still get a strike.
Just imagine the Predator with Susan Wachowski's face on it, leaping between like binary trees, hunting down your live stream as it runs for its life through a jungle of binary.
But you know that a lot of people hate Alita because she's too badass and fat and a badass chick.
Was it
And
Elita Army? Or
yep,
something like that?
oh dude, the Alita dude is you you know how what's her name again? Captain
Captain
fucking
Marvel?
yeah, Captain Marvel there.
Mm-hmm.
You were
Well,
gonna say Captain Fuckhead.
yeah, I was gonna say
We
that
like
something.
him.
But the SJW and everything, they went after Alita like she was like, hey, we don't like Ripley, right? Type of thing. So it's the same thing. Like they really, really didn't want people to see or like Alita at all, because she's there's nothing SJW about it. She's an actual girl and she's badass as fuck. And obviously they don't want you to like characters like that. They want you to like, Captain Marvel or that type of cunt.
No.
Wow.
Thank goodness we're far enough into a video where YouTube won't kill us for that.
Oh,
Welcome to the morning show.
And
well, we can't say that. You can't say that beautiful word. Okay, I'm Canadian. Blame it on that.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
No,
His brain's frozen. It's too far north.
To us, it's still okay to say that word.
well, Sim, Soul is in the chat, and he's he's coming at you a little.
Apologize, Sim.
He says, "Is there a Frenchman on the panel? I hear frog sounds."
No.
Oh, wow.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
But then he posted a link to your Tales from the Natverse though afterwards. So I think it's cool. I think it's all cool now.
That was
Wow.
very quick conflict.
And I will repeat it again. Not that type of French. Damn it.
Don't make Sim go to Germany, Soul.
Frog legs ain't a thing in Quebec. That's a French thing. No Frenchman, Canadian.
I can't imagine what inspired somebody to do that. It looks like boogers. I'll just put it in my mouth.
Oh, dude, it's not no, it's not great. I tried it. It's not great.
Of course, it's not great. It's frog legs.
Oh, it's not? I've never had it.
They
I'm
say
sorry.
it's like a delicacy, dude. I don't like it at all. I tried it once and
Can't imagine.
it's disgusting. But
I feel
like
like
I
they
keep
just-
telling people, it's like you guys don't know what Quebec is. It's like a French America. The fuck? We're not French. It's like, do you think that a baguette is something here? No, it's not. It's just bread.
Sim is very
Oh, you know what's
defensive
great?
about this French thing.
No, it's like if I keep comparing you to British.
If you're worried about baguettes, a great thing to do with them is to stuff them full of pizza stuff, and then you have a pizza to go.
Yeah. So Lion's like, right, but being racist against Canadian French is only half the fun and twice as cold in the winter. You know what they say? They hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. But anyway, the maple syrup isn't that great, guys. Okay, but
I'm
I'm sorry.
pretty,
It's all about the beaver.
it's
pretty happy where I am.
very true. That is your national animal, sir.
All
And
puns
what an
intended.
animal it is.
All puns intended.
What an animal it is.
Oh Lord.
Welcome to the morning show, everyone. It is Monday. Wherever you are, I hope it's sunny and not raining. And if you're enjoying these jokes, hit the like button and subscribe as well. YouTube is on the hunt, snapping down Chris's subscribers like they're snapping down live streams of your friends out there. So do a fella a favor and hit that subscribe button.
It's true. I lost 3. All
Yeah.
3. I'm
She's
down
a
below.
predator,
100 again.
dude. She's out there just blasting people away.
Mm-hmm.
Susan's eternal eye
Mm.
is
So-
gazed upon me.
So
Remember
it's saying Canadian stand-up comedy festival are legit though. Yeah, that's true. We have the biggest one for that, and we have them from everywhere around the world. And what's your guy's favorite coffee brand?
Ice cream.
I would say Tim Horton.
Well, I don't have one. I get my coffee from the shop about a couple blocks down.
He says like Sim isn't French. His accent is fake. He's really Puerto Rican. See,
Oh.
hola hermano.
I guess that would have been awkward when I tried to go to Canada to visit you, I guess.
Yeah, ask Canales. He was supposed to come here. They didn't let him in.
Oh, right.
No. It's a fucking Sharona. He was supposed to come and his trip got canceled because of all this shit. He was supposed to be here. You know, we had planned to surprise everybody and do like a doodle and chill, right?
Right.
And pull the same thing that happened with my kids type of thing. Like, I'd be on the stream and all you'd see is Canales in the back. And people are like, what? And you, hi. That would have been fucking wicked.
That would have been funny, though. He just gets stopped at the border, like, whoa. There's too much sex in one body here. Get
What,
out.
Canales in Canada?
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, like, they stopped him at the border and they were like, guys, come on. You can't come in here like this. The women can't handle it. You gotta go back.
You'll impregnate half the country.
Dude, why do you think he was coming? He was not coming just because he wanted to visit Canada. He was coming for the chicks. He knows it. It's not his first visit.
Puns everywhere. Pew 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 pew. Puns everywhere.
He's there for the beaver.
He's there for the beavers. Yep. And you all know that we got the best beavers.
Welcome to the morning show, everyone. Zaid Comics in the chat. Hail Zaid Comics. Thank you
And
for
you know,
launching the Lost Pages, by the way, brother. That has stormed over CG Twitter. Everyone's excited about that.
It does.
and I would add that we all know that beaver love wood. Now, keep on going. I'm done.
Gosh dang it, Sam.
I tried with all my might, guys. You saw.
Derailing Cider with your degeneracy.
What you talking about? I'm talking about animals. What the hell?
The Lost Pages does look good, though.
The Lost Pages, it's fucking awesome.
I would like to get. I would like to get Phil on, but he's always working in the morning.
Yeah. But you could probably, because sometimes he does do little streams or appearance while he's at work. He just needs to know in advance. You can set it up.
The gauntlet's been tossed down in the chat. Apparently, as of 12:01 p.m. here on the East Coast, the goal today is $13,000 for the Lost Pages.
Yes, because that's when we start getting the new shorts, the new stories added. The first one is by Brendan. There's going to be one by me. There's one by CG Morgus. Dude, he's gonna have the top of CG in that book. Nobody
But
wants to miss that shit.
but is there going to be a drawn in tier?
Hey, you remember what he told you? He would probably do one for you to be in my book. You know, like a get killed by
Yeah.
Sim tier.
Well, yeah, but I heard probably, not yes.
Definitely, that's a big word.
True.
For those of you at home that don't know the gimmick, Chris is Comicsgate's Sean Bean. He has to die in every comic he buys his way in.
So Phil, is it gonna be a thing?
Oh
Are we
man.
gonna do a get killed by Sim tier?
Oh, I love Cider and his voice. Cider, you just need to just be the host.
No.
Okay,
This is,
I just
Coffee
lost
Table
I just lost my job. Cider's the new co-host. Damn it.
No, I would lose my job.
So, welcome to Coffee Heaven with Chris Heavens, with your hosts Cider and Sim.
Yeah, right. That's like Barney, but Barney's not there. It's just everybody but Barney.
Barney and
Instead of
friends.
Garfield and Friends, it's just and Friends.
I got fired. Just merit. It's all merit based on this channel.
Oh, Chris just said maybe Chris could be the demon that Vane is hunting.
Ooh.
Because Vane is the name of the character that we'll be working on. Yeah,
Ooh, fancy.
a demon hunter. Oh, yeah,
A demon, Chris. Ooh.
Wow.
that could be interesting, right?
Now you've heard it here. 2 pieces of big news about the Lost Pages. Today's goal is 13,000, as well as Chris Evans being killed by Vane, one of the characters that Simon is working on with the Lost Pages creators, Zaid Comics.
He did the maybe thing again. Son of a.
Oh, he's baiting you, huh? I see. I see.
Maybe.
Phil's being a dick.
Yeah, but the thing is, maybe, because the maybe has to be there, because he cannot put the tier up until my
Well,
story gets
true.
unlocked.
Yeah, it is true. It's got to reach.
He has no choice.
Tease.
But don't worry, I think I'm the second or third one.
Oh my.
Are you okay? Can you?
That
are you
corn
okay?
hangover, man.
Are you feigning?
Rough. Between the jar of pickles, the mashed potatoes, the noodles, and corn, it's all not setting well in the
All
tongue.
that starch and salt. Wow.
So yeah. Oh damn it, the phone. Okay, so yeah, Cider. I heard that you have a wonderful book coming. Would you like to tell us about it?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, share the screen.
I have
Ooh.
Colossals. As you know, because Simon did a variant cover for it. This is Simon's finished variant cover, featuring all of the Colossals, all 7 of the all 6 of the Colossals, plus Junior Colossal Isaac.
I really like Isaac.
I think he's going to steal the show. He's just too cute.
It's like Mega Man. That's who he reminds me of. It's cool as hell. But like I told you, I like him. I like Riser. Is that it? Is that how you call it? Riser. Razor. Okay, yeah. And I like Shadow Spinner. Is that how you're calling it?
Yeah, the daughter.
Yep.
Yeah,
Shadow Spinner. Yep.
Sorry, I was trying to remember the names properly and not,
That's perfectly fine. It's in fact a really good time to go through Who's Who, if you will.
Right? Yeah.
So, our lead, of course, is the magnificent Star Supreme, hero of Earth, and the hero of the Cataclysm, a terrible natural disaster that wiped out the majority of the U.S. West Coast and destroyed the island chain of Hawaii. She alone rescued over 1,800 people inside of 13 hours. And then we have Razor. He is an agent of hell that has more recently, in the past 2 years, decided to use his powers granted to him by the king of demons, Baal. He's used those powers for good now.
Okay, so
joining his friend Star Supreme.
Is he like a demon, like he's a demon inside the armor, or he's a demon possessing somebody?
Is he?
You'll have to wait until the comic to find out a little bit more about Razor's origin. But there is a man inside of all this horrific armor.
Ooh, he's kind of like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, there's a lot of influences on this character, as you can see. I didn't spare too much extravagance with how I wanted his armor to look. And this very much is armor, by the way. It's not skin. This isn't a mouth. It is a mask. This green glow you see here on him, it's an integral part of what his power base is, and it's called the Dayblazer fire, as the old Latin pronunciation of demon, D-A-E, daemon, the Dayblazer fire.
And I have to say, like, the design is really cool. I really like the guy. But he's the one that's more pain he has to draw in the entire freaking picture.
Yep. You're welcome.
Phil's got a question. He says, "What's he look like under?"
Well, again, you'll have to wait until the comic to see that.
Don't try it. It won't work with cider. You can spin it all you want.
You have to buy the book.
Yeah.
Not necessarily by the book, but you'll have to wait for it to come out. I don't like to deprive people, but it'll be there in the story. Don't worry. In fact, in the preview comic that you get in the mailing list, the girl from the earthquake, you see some of Razor's exposed face.
Is your mailing list still the MailChimp, or you have the one on Indiegogo?
It's still the MailChimp one. Yeah.
Okay. So who else?
And then, of course, we have Hypercussion. He's one of my favorite characters out of this whole lineup. He's the speedster, obviously, but part of his gimmick is that he shoots super compressed sound waves out of his palms, hence the percussion part of his name.
Oh, a bit like Shriek.
Yeah, I borrowed some of that kind of visual when I decided what that would look like for him, and of course that assists his super speed.
Yeah.
The visor may seem a little confusing, but what it does is it defers the wind and slows it down enough so he doesn't choking on the oxygen being pushed into his nose. And he also uses it to communicate with other people, and uses it as a GPS to let him know where he is on Earth in case he's kind of overshot where he's going.
So it's not just glasses; it's an actual visor with a UI.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of a heads-up display inside of there for him. Think of the Scouter from Dragon Ball Z.
It's over 9,000.
I was hoping you'd say
that. Just like are you using that line in the book?
No, I'm not using that line in the book. I have taste. Come on.
That's one of the fruit.
One of the more mysterious characters in the Colossals is Delilah Church. She does not take on a superhero code name, and she is not very well known to the world. It's only the Colossals and certain government organizations that even know she exists. Delilah Church is an immortal sorceress, originally a princess born to the original king of Leon, the northern kingdom of Spain, way back in the 200s, the 2nd century.
Oh, wow.
And she dresses like a boho.
She's a hippie.
Yeah, she dresses like a bohemian hippie from like Burning Man.
That's why she's smoking on the cover.
I modeled Delilah a lot after Emma Frost. I liked the character that didn't necessarily have like clear goals, but was always erring on the side of right.
She reminded me of remember the girl in the second Austin Powers?
The spy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The feel of her, like, you know.
Oh yeah, the feel of her, definitely.
The hippie, but
particularly still around this region, right? The feel of her around this region. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Not too much, but just enough. But she looks badass. No, but you know, the little hippie, like, she looked like she was a hipster, but she was badass as hell, and that's what I like about her. She looks at it like she's not that big, but when you find out what she is, who she is, she's a big deal.
Cold as ice.
Yeah, baby.
And then we have Isaac, the boy robot. He's not officially a colossal. He calls himself and his friends the Junior Colossals. But for this adventure, he's kind of drug along into a very miserable situation. Isaac is the adopted son of Star Supreme. A few years ago, about 6 years before the start of this story, Isaac was originally constructed to kill Star Supreme. That was his original purpose. However, through a series of unfortunate events for the people who created him, they ended up downloading one of the first biological life forms to be downloaded into a computer. So Isaac is the first birth, a human birth inside of a computer. So you don't have a baby, you have a consciousness that has grown on the internet, if you will. And Isaac was accidentally downloaded into this robot body, and it took this form in order to accommodate the spirit inside of the shell. So you have a 10-year-old little boy with the power intended to kill his mother, but he thinks she's the coolest person in the world and wants to grow up to be just like her.
Ooh, I like that. I like the. I always like the whole mother, like the mother, child interactions.
Well, I wanted Isaac to have that children's appeal. While this book is like more PG-13, Isaac's books that will later come out, hopefully, if people like this, the later books about Isaac will follow some of his origin, but mainly focus on what his life is like being the son of the world's most powerful and most beloved superhero. What is it like going to school at a school for superhero kids that it's the first of its kind in this world? That'll be more of his story and how he grows up inside of this robot body and the struggle of being older in your mind and your body and things like that.
Oh, that could be really neat.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to mention all of these heroes: Star Supreme, Razor, Hypercussion, Delilah, Isaac, Shadow Spinner, and Sola.
Yep.
Ooh,
all have their own titles. These heroes are. I took the Zack Snyder approach of giving you a team of heroes, and then you, the consumer, will tell me which stories you want first. Now, I know right now everybody wants to hear more about Razor, so he's obviously going to be one of the ones to get one of his first standalone titles. But all of these heroes are not just on a team together. They're not the Fantastic Four. This is the Justice League of the Ciderverse.
Yep.
So Isaac gets a book, Sola gets a book, Delilah gets a book, Hypercussion, Razor, especially Star Supreme, and especially Shadow Spinner.
Oh, good.
Yep. So when you're backing the Colossals #1 and the books that follow that, you're helping me establish who you want out in their own separate titles going forward after this first story arc that you get introduced to all these characters. So it's important to me that I tell you what these characters are about so you can pick your favorite as you're reading the book. So rest assured, my comic will do more to teach you about these characters than this interview does. This won't be a quick little adventure where some colorful characters flash up on some panels and we're done. You're going to learn about these heroes. Huh?
You're building a universe.
Well, yeah, this is intended. Like I said, I looked at Zack Snyder's model, and I said I can do this with my heroes. Is I will create a conflict where you will learn about these heroes in one sitting, and then the second part of that conflict, you will see the resolution they have, which was Zack's original intent. Now, I'm not a Snyder cut guy, but I pay attention to good ideas, and I think this is a good one. So, like I said, you're backing when the Colossals #1 comes out, you're backing the Colossals because it'll lead into individual books. Similar to how the DCEU was supposed to start with Justice League and then break into individual movies.
So, yeah. Hashtag, Snyder Cut 2021.
Gotta get it in there somehow, right?
And yeah, but dude, we won with that one, right? So right now, I'm behind the Alita army there. We need that goddamn sequel. So I'm gonna start doing that now. Hashtag Alita sequel.
And now that I totally derailed from the character roster, because I'm not very good at this, I'm learning. This is Shadow Spinner. She is Star Supreme's adopted daughter. She is in the comic you got with the one of the first mailing list blasts. It was because of her, and this is the story of how Star Supreme rescued Shadow Spinner from a life as a basically a human disposal system. She was trapped in a cave by her grandfather and forced to eat the remains of his torture games.
Well, that's dark.
Yeah,
Well,
I like that character. I have a feeling that she's gonna end up being a badass. Like
Yeah.
the little surprise rise of the entire thing.
I like
That's just me.
her. I like. Do you have that picture with
do I
her
have
and
that?
our Supreme?
Oh yeah, yep, just a second here. I'll bring it right up. Here we go.
And Cider has been working on this for a long time. It's not just a little quick little idea he just came up with and just hashed it out. He's been working on this since before I even met him.
Yeah, he's put a lot of effort into this, and you can
Yep.
tell from how he talks about it.
This is, for example, is this is drawn by @Leandro NR on Twitter. Wonderful artist. He's currently working on the Adobe Kroger project. He'll be helping me later this summer as we move into full production for the campaign. But this is a scene. This is kind of what a typical day for Shadow Spinner was before she was rescued. I'll scroll back up here to the character. There was a little bit of confusion when the book came out because you'll see kind of the outline here of how these panels are separated. These are actually her spider legs. Do you remember that Spider-Man that had the spider legs growing out of his back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This is her. The reason why she was abandoned and treated like a monster is because the people around her could only see her as that. And Star Supreme was the first one to ever show her compassion and love and see her as a human child with potential and deserving of love. So, fun little fact though, when they first brought her home, Star Supreme's mother gave her a name. She had only been known as Eliza from before being brought home, being adopted, and they gave her the name Valentine because she was brought home on Valentine's Day. But she would not take a bath until they bribed her with chocolate milk and garlic knots.
garlic nuts.
You'll find out all of this when I get a chance to put all the comics out about how Star Supreme and her family function in the Supreme family. That's another comic series I have coming out. If all this works out, that's the thing. Is you got to remember I'm talking a lot of things, but this is only if this book works out well enough.
But Star Supreme is also your centerpiece. Technically,
Yes.
she's the center of everything.
Yeah, she's like the flagship character.
Exactly.
Everything revolves around, or connected to. Yeah.
The you guys asked about what Razor looks like underneath the armor.
Mm-hmm.
In the last update, I sent out the black and white. This hasn't been colored yet, but this is what Razor looks like underneath the armor. He's just a man. It's not a demon. It's a guy with a samurai top knot and a goatee. And fuck you eyes. Yep. Sorry, no special surprises under there. No six tongues, no special eye, no special demon eyes or anything like that. It's just a man. Very motivated, but just a man.
So that's why he's a demon, because he's overly motivated. He's a beast.
And as you can see, the character art's a little different because I think this picture better expresses the kind of personality that Solavera has.
Yeah, she's the joyful one. She's the giggly one.
Well, she's also very passionate and comfortable with herself, whereas Star Supreme isn't. In the Colossals, as the story progresses, the heroes tend to learn things from each other. They help teach like confidence. They help teach each other like compassion, how to accept like compliments, how to live with people disagreeing with them, sort of things like that. Some have strengths and others have weaknesses, and they help each other out. Sola's issue in this book is that she's new. She's never been in a big fight before, and her test will be is can she come out on top when she's never thrown a punch in her life?
And I love her bathing suit.
This
That's a nice swimsuit.
is not her costume. This is a bathing suit.
Yeah.
But as you can see, she is made out of dark star material. This is not flesh. This is dark star material. And her hair is a very her hair is not fire that you will be burned by. It's sort of a magical fire that's generated by just the sheer concentration of all that dark star material. It causes combustion at the top of her head.
So it's just energy. It's not fire. Yeah.
Correct. Like the energy coming out of her eyes. You won't be burned by this. It's just the concentration of energy erupting out of the top of her head. You piss her off, her hair will get really big. You'll find out in the book.
I like her cosmic type of skin, and I did a different alteration of it on the cover, but I really like the idea of having like a cosmic type of skin. Yeah.
So yes. What does this dark star stuff feel like then?
It is cold to the touch.
It
would be soft like a human flesh, obviously. That way she could move around and touch things. But it's cold to the touch because there isn't a heartbeat in there. There isn't blood in there. There's just energy, barely contained by this dark star material.
Neat.
Yep. Sola was raised by a deep rooted Amazonian tribe that had not had human contact until 2015 in this world. Star Supreme actually located them when a drug cartel tried burning them out for this special route that was in their village. And this special route allowed you to hallucinate and travel through different realities. So these drug cartel guys wanted to get a hold of it so they could go poach drugs from other universes and bring them back to get people even more high and make more money and perpetuate their market, essentially. Sola was forced into conflict for the first time and ended up torching the forest, and that raised Star Supreme, her alerts, and that brought Star Supreme and Sola together. Their first adventure is kicking a Mexican drug cartel's ass, basically.
Can't wait. When is it coming out?
I'm sorry, I keep letting out all these things that aren't in the book, but these are things that are about these characters that help you better understand them.
When's the book coming out?
It's their backstory is important.
That's the hard thing, is I have 7 characters that aren't that are all meant to be standalone, carry their own titles and go places kind of characters. Because if you ever stepped back and took a look at how DC structured their universe, like Star City and Fawcett City and Coast City, Metropolis and Gotham, they were all kind of their own little pocket dimension. They overlapped every now and then, but only things happened in Gotham, and only things happened in Fawcett City. Only things happened in.
But they also made things happen at the same time. Remember, that's what they did with the Snyder Cut. Not the Snyder Cut, but in the Snyder Justice League movie, like when they started with the Batman versus Superman, they intermingled. Like, look, Batman was there, and this was happening while the Superman thing was happening. And that's the thing that they used to do with Marvel and DC back in the days. And I think that's what you're bringing back to. Am I right?
Well, I'm Star Supreme is the inspirational hero that brought together all of these other heroes. That's what you'll find in how I explain these characters, is that Star Supreme is the central link between all of them. And that's the purpose of an inspirational hero when you get down to it, is to inspire other people to the cause. But these characters, they all have like their own separate stories, the way that like Green Arrow does, and Green Lantern and Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman would. They come together for this one team book, which is an excellent way to explain my universe and explain my characters to you, while wrapping it all in an incredibly engaging story that'll leave your jaw on the floor by the last page.
So again, when are you launching this?
I'm looking at having the campaign ready to go by mid-August.
And what do people get by joining that mailing list?
When you join the mailing list, when you join the mailing list at this very moment, nothing. It's the next update that comes that you'll be getting the first comic, the first free comic I put out, which was the Because of Her, where Star Supreme meets Shadow Spinner. And then this next one will be the colored version of the Razor meeting Teenage Star Supreme, which is where I showed you what Razor looked like here. And then another comic will be there that will be uncolored but lettered. And that's how I'm doing this, is that I'm offering you guys lots of updates on what the book will actually look like with these test pages that I'm paying my artist to do, where I test how he's, receiving what my characters will do and how he's viewing them. You guys get that kind of preview of the evolution of how the artist is evolving into telling the story visually, with me telling it with words. You also get promotional art, because I love art. I love hiring artists to do art, so I go out and scout some new guys that have some kind of fresh ideas, and I pay them a little bit of money here and there to put together some spectacular promotional art. So this right here of Sola is one of them, and I have one of Isaac that just got done last time. The last update featured this one of Isaac. He's a little taller than he is in the book, but this does a pretty good job illustrating what he kind of is all about. I really like this piece, but this is also as part of the updates that you get in there. You get project updates, like what's going on with this fancy logo here, and as well as lore. So a little bit of paragraph here and there won't make you read a novel, but a little bit of paragraph here and there that explains some of what's going on in the one-pager comics you're reading.
So wait a minute, hold on. Have you released any of those free comics yet on the mailing list?
Yes.
Yep.
Two of
If
them,
you
I
check
think,
your
right?
spam folder, they might be in there. It's from the Ciderverse Chronicle, I believe, is how it pops up in your mailbox.
I'm gonna have to go check that out then.
The colored version of Because of Her is in there, and the uncolored but lettered version of The Girl from the Earthquake is in this most latest one, as
Now,
well as some visuals.
will these free comics only be available through the mailing list?
They're digital only. I don't have plans to print them. These are what I'm doing is that I'm using these test pages as a way to market the comic as well. So I will have my artist draw up a one-page story, and then I will send that off to a colorist that I want to see how they coloring the scenes and interpreting my directions. And then I bring it to you guys, and you guys tell me if you like it or not. So when the book comes out, I have an idea of what you want already by giving you free comics and you telling me what's working for you and what's not.
I think it would be a good idea to include them in the book, like an extra section at the end.
We'll see what we have room for.
Maybe you could do it as a stretch goal.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, a collection of little short stories, certainly, if that fits into the artist's schedule. He is an industry professional, and I've caught him in a bit of a blip here. So lucky me, but I'm not sure if that'll hold. So
Well, that's understandable.
we'll get the Colossals #1. I can promise you that. That's definitely happening. I've got that. I've got a contract on that one, but I just don't want to. The thing I don't want to do is I don't want people to. I don't want people to sit and expect a certain type of book. That would be the worst part for me. Is if somebody said, "I predict X," and I nailed it. I saw this coming. This book was predictable. Everything about it was exactly what I expected. I'm bored. And I feel that keeping the same artist through many, many books kind of gets that way. People predict sort of things. So Colossals #1 will be in this very spectacular style that you see in your mailing list. And you'll have to tell me if I should fight to keep that contract. Because really, guys, when it comes down to it, if this book is a super success, I'll be able to go back to the artist and say, look, I'm going to give you a little bit larger of a percentage on this than the original offer to stay with me, all right? Now negotiate with me on what you need to stay. because I'm willing to do that for you guys, the backers, because it's important to me to deliver a book that you guys are always going to be surprised by. I never want you to sit down and say that you predicted it and you got what you predicted. I don't want that.
Well, obviously, we all want to be able to tell the entire story for everybody, and we want people to enjoy them and come back
Yep.
to them.
I'm out to make sure that you feel like your jaw's on the floor by the end of that book and you can't get enough of the Colossals.
I think I'll probably look forward to the most is the Star Supreme and the family one, the family interaction.
Yep. The Supreme Family, yep.
Yes, that's the one I think I'm gonna look forward to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Colossals.
This is the thing, is that the Colossals book has every one of my most favorite characters that I created for this on display in here for you, the audience, to tell me which ones are your favorites. I've even introduced a very dynamic villainess. This is Nega Supreme, the evil clone of Star Supreme. Devastating, deadly, and unstoppable. The perfect foil for Star Supreme.
Ooh, what's her backstory?
She's an evil clone.
Oh, maybe there was more.
Ta-da!
Oh shit! I should have.
Spoilers.
I really need to get some coffee. You can tell I didn't have coffee for this one.
So you can imagine there's going to be an amazing fight between those two.
I'm still trying to figure out how to pitch the book, so I could have killed myself here back in the beginning of this whole spiel there. I don't know, but I'm always excited to talk about Nega Supreme because I'm always excited to talk about Star Supreme. When you create a character like this, having the evil equivalent to them is just so tantalizing. It's such an interesting concept to put the reflection of your hero against your hero and make that reflection kind of pull out the weaknesses and the shame of that hero and force that hero to have to overcome that. That's a thrilling thing in my mind to have. This is what I think is lost with Superman stories, actually, is that Superman's not about challenging the ideas that we have in the world anymore. He's about punching it as hard as he can. And that's why Nega Supreme is important for Star Supreme, because Nega actually challenges Star Supreme to explain herself. How often do you get a superhero that faces off against a villain that's not beating the hell out of them, but instead forcing them to have to admit, yeah, I made a mistake there, but I did the best I could?
I can say one thing. I've known Cider for a while, and this is not the type of book I would usually go for, right? And I've told you that, Cider, right? I'm not your target audience, like, at all.
No, you're not 6 to 16.
But talking with him, what I've heard about it, what he's told me about this book, I want it. I absolutely want it, and I also want it for my girls. So
yeah, I like it because it seems to focus on character development and growth and everything.
Like, he put the work into it. The characters are developed. They have a background. They're people. They're like alive. It's like, to me, it's the same thing. It's characters to me is like, I don't write the story as long as they're not alive in my head. It's weird. Sometimes it's technically an improv. I know what the story, but I'm just going with it because the character is going. Like, I know how they are, how they'll react to each other, how they'll react to the situation. And this is what we're getting in this. And Cider's been busting his ass and writing this, and everything I've heard from it, I want these books. And then I'm telling you, you guys will not want to miss this. So get on that mailing list ASAP.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it since the streams you had done back before, talking about it, and I seen that picture that what was it? You said Doodle Bags did.
Oh, yeah, just
the one with Shadow Spinner and Star Supreme. That was a good one.
Yep.
Peter Samedi posted some interview footage from Christopher Reeves talking about like how Superman is a popular character, was a popular character because he was your friend. Superman could stop a meteor from destroying the Earth, certainly an asteroid, stop it. But he also would help you get your cat down out of a tree because the cat was too much of an ass to climb down on its own. It, that's the kind of hero that I've tried to build with Star Supreme. Is that while this is a larger than life hero that does amazing things and godlike strengths and things like that, she's also there to make sure that traffic doesn't get held up. She's there to help you with your tire when it's flat on the side of the road. She's there to do it. That and Doodlebags he really captured what I wanted out of this picture.
I love that pic, dude.
Yeah, and as you can see, these are Shadow Spinner's legs. They have always been there. They've been there since birth. And she's bald.
She doesn't shave. She just doesn't have hair.
Yeah, I based her off of Nosferatu more than Spider-Man.
Yeah, I get it. And that's why, in the cover I did, she's the one that looks the more threatening when you actually pay attention to the entire piece.
It's not lost on me at all. This is the first piece I had Leandro do for me. It was the Stand Victoriously is what I call it, the Stand Victoriously piece. And this is how I knew that he absolutely understood this character in and out, upside down, left and right. He perfectly captured what I wanted her to look like after, a really rough fight and making it out on the other end, having saved everybody. And I've gotten some flack about her motto, and I think it just takes some time for people to think it through. But save everyone you can, not one more, not one less. One of the things that I think people miss about this is that it's not her being selfish and saying she's going to just give up when she's tired or whatever. I get very bored of the hero that's ready to self-sacrifice, that's ready to die and leave their family behind and all the people that care about them and perhaps the whole world that doesn't want them to die in this fight. And so these are the words that Star Supreme's mother said to her on her very first adventure when her mother was fearful that she would die out there saving all those people in the earthquake.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like she has, her abilities are much more, important to keep around and for the future, and she can save a lot more people alive.
Not only that, but she might just be a nice person to have around. You might just like her because she's fun to talk to.
Yeah.
She could be your friend, maybe. I think that's lost. We think about superheroes now and their superpowered abilities instead of what they mean to us on a personal level. We think about how hard they can punch something or how quickly they can kill a foe instead of how they would lead a parade, what they would say to your kid if they ever met him.
But that was what was behind the magic of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man was different from other characters because that's what they brought into it. Like, I have to go help somebody, but my costume's wet, so he caught a cold.
Right,
he had to let down his Aunt May, and he was disappointed, and he was, thinking about it, how he had to let her down to go help somebody. Those type of things.
Yeah, that injection of personality.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that like every superhero has to be the everyman kind of character, I'm not saying that at all, but I think that superheroes in general really need to get back to. It's difficult to explain, really, but I think the best way to summarize it is that superheroes need to be about people again. And even if you're telling stories about like gods, like the Colossals, I'm not going to fib about it. The Colossals are pretty much gods by comparison to the world they're in. So even if you're writing about that, you still have to remember that they're human at the end of the day. There's still people that go home and they have bills, they have kids, they have girlfriends, they have, they have a dream about being something. Maybe being a carpenter. Superheroing's great, but maybe they want to build houses like Jimmy Carter.
Iconic role models people to look up to instead of just vigilantes.
And I will let you guys know too that on the Colossals, at the Colossals on Twitter, there is a free 5-page story done by a guest artist, a student guest artist. He survived Corona to draw this. Okay, it's just a 5-page story. It's nothing big, special, or spectacular, but it's kind of a brief overview of Starscream's first adventure rescuing people from the Cataclysm. That's totally free over on at the Colossals on Twitter.
Go now.
Don't
wait.
That one out too. I'm gonna have to break my whole not reading digital rule.
Yeah.
One of the things that my marketing strategy has centered around is I'm a man on the street. I'm not special. I'm not different than anyone else. I just want to give you enough content that you'll want to buy my book, even just out of curiosity. Mm-hmm. I want to give you enough content, though, that you feel safe in doing it. Critias really shook me up. So I want to demonstrate by giving you these pages for free, by hiring guest artists to tell bigger, a little bit longer stories so that the book artist can focus on the book. I want you guys to be able to feel more immersed in the world so that when you buy that book, you feel like, yeah, I've been waiting for this. Like I've been waiting for the Justice League. Like I've been waiting for the Avengers. Like I've been waiting for the X-Men. I'm so glad to finally get this in my hands. That's what I want this book to feel like, is that it's been something you've been waiting for a very long time.
And I have.
Everybody get on board the hype tray.
Yeah, and it's something that we're also lacking in, the CG realm. More positive and, all age friendly, you could say.
Yeah, the younger boy, Robot, he would be a good all age character, like Cider was saying with his book in the school.
Yep. Isaac goes to a school called Extreme Concepts.
Yeah, maybe. How would you say? Maybe you could entice people over, since you've got like My Hero Academia that's really big right now, and that's kind of got the whole superhero school concept.
Yep.
But that's another thing that I'd like to bring up to. Cider is highly influenced by manga and all that realm. So it's like this book is a mix of Western and Eastern. So it's different. That's why I'm really interested.
Well, one thing that's very true about this is that I really like Japanese heroes. They're very passionate, where American superheroes are very value driven. Japanese heroes are very passionate about their values, whereas American heroes are stoic about them. They want to pontificate and educate and lecture with their value system. And that was cool when we were trying to beat communism. But up here in the 21st century, you got to pack that up with like what it means to you, to your heart. You got to broadcast that when you say that. And I really like that about Japanese heroes, is that when they have something to say that's truthful, they're saying it at the very top of their lungs.
That is true. That Gundam show we were watching, that character was certainly quite emotional.
Yeah, that's, again, you have characters that go beyond, if you will. to borrow a My Hero Academia reference. And I think that's vitally important in this market today, is to have heroes that will compete with anime characters. They'll excite kids. They'll get them interested. You know, that's why I had this done up so that people could see what Razor looked like in action.
Ooh. Now, what's all that green stuff?
That's the Dayblazer fire.
Okay.
He's launched a shell from the rifle in his hand into whatever's off panel here, and the explosion feedback is what he's jumping into.
Oh, neat.
Yep. But this is the purpose of the Ciderverse, and all of the design work I do. I pay very close attention to what people like about hero designs. So I took a long time establishing some of the designs. Like Delilah's design, I didn't. I sat back and I said I would want a immortal sorceress to look like this. This is fitting. Someone who dresses like they're in the past, you know, being stuck in a certain decade. And I wanted my speedster not to be all lightning bolty. I'm very tired of lightning being the only way we can say that somebody's fast. So I found some lines on a Winnebago that I liked really well, and I gave them to my character designer. And I said, "Could you put some Winnebago lines on him?" Yeah. I found these groovy boots that had upside down exclamation points, and I was like, well, that's good. That sounds like something in a song. So you put an exclamation point after a lyric you shout. So, and this guy's for sound, so let's go for it. Teeny tiny little things are important to me because these characters are meant to go for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They need to have these tiny little things that people will grow to love about them. Little quirky things about them. Like, for instance, Shadow Spinner's pocket here, this little pouch right here, this is full of stacks. She's diabetic from having to be a cannibal for the first 7 years of her life. Just teeny tiny little quirky things. Razor's just all offense. He's, you know, the only thing really to remember about him is he's going to get you. That's it. But Star Supreme's cape, many people ask me why it's only over her right side. And that's because when she saves people, acts as a windshield. She brings it over them, and that way she can fly at supersonic speeds without, like, whiplash with the wind speed.
Ooh, I like that.
Everything has a purpose. It's all thought out. It's all calculated because these characters are meant to last. So their costumes have to have multiple functionalities. For instance, her belt here, this is a communication device. I thought about it, and after getting punched in the head by somebody who could actually hurt her, anything that would be mechanical would have been shattered inside of her ear. Absolutely useless. So I figured, unless somebody did the whole punch here to win thing on her, you'd have a pretty safe bet of keeping this being a tracking and communication device. So if you want to get a hold of Star Supreme, her belt will beep. Again, it's just teeny tiny things. I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's those little touches that makes that, dude, you put a lot of thought into this.
Isaac's wings are removable, by the way. They're a little box, like a mother box that the New Gods would carry around with kind of that forbidden technology in it. If you pull the box off of the wings fold back into the box, sort of like that transformer that went into Soundwave's chest, the bird. Do you Transformers? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought someone had his, like, Ravager, was that its name?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Sorry. Well, somebody in the audience remembers this, I'm sure. But like that, when you pull that off. So when Isaac's been bad or he's misbehaved, part of his punishment is that he's literally grounded. Star Supreme will take his wings away from him.
No flying for you, mister.
Yep.
Oh. Soul has a question that you have a positive answer for here. The color scheme on her is very Peregrine-esque. Will there be a crossover?
Yeah. When I was developing Star Supreme, I gotta find where I put Star. There it is. When I was developing Star Supreme, I had a couple of comics in these one pagers in development here, and Optimus came to me in a private DM, and he's like, "Dude, check this out." And I liked a more pink costume when we were looking at those designs, those color schemes. I voted for the much more pink design because I just really dig it. But when he showed me that design, I told him I know exactly what to do, and I went to my artist and I ordered that stretch goal poster you guys are getting. That's from me and my artist. I paid my guy to do the line art, and they're having, I believe, Farah color it. But I saw Big Sister, Little Sister, Star Supreme flying with Peregrine, and Peregrine's just enjoying having somebody else around that knows what she's going through and what it's like, because I know these two characters feel kind of isolated because of their abilities and responsibilities. So, yeah, in the future you might see a full-fledged crossover, but the Englewood adventure, I guess, is going to lead into something much bigger. So you're probably going to see that take off first.
He also says, I've watched the Korean live action movie Kingdom lately on Amazon Prime and bought the Steelbook right away. Has great action, drama, values like friendship, honor, loyalty, and good dialogue. It was Kingdom, Korean live action movie. I've been watching the TV show Kingdom on Netflix that was Korean. That's pretty good. I liked it.
I'll look into it. My character designer, for instance, is from Indonesia, and he's a self-taught artist himself. And what I like about what he does is that he infuses these different types of designs that a lot of Western, pardon me all the hell, I apologize for that. When he designs my characters, he puts in that Eastern influence. I feel you can forgive me for this. I feel the Oriental touch in a lot of these things, the influences of Japan and China and Taiwan in some of these designs, particularly Razor's. Some of that was by design, but as well as his own interpretations, like the way the metal curls here for Razor in these spots. That was the designer's choice, and I think it's important to bring that into comics now. We're kind of done with tights, We need to start experimenting with how to make that look cooler.
Well, certainly. There's nothing wrong with some new, fresh takes.
I mean, I can't say much. She's in tights, but
it's okay to have at least one in there.
One, yeah. Well, that's the thing that I made a decision with this. Some people ask me this. They ask me why are your heroines so covered up? And of course, then we have like Sola. We whoops, but why are the heroes so covered up? And I said that because I really want this to be that these heroes come to like influence a generation. I really do. I want to be around long enough for kids to pick these up the way I picked up Superman comics, like on the floor of a shop, or their grandfather's house, or their uncle's house, or somebody who has the book. That's why I did this, is I wanted them not to be so much that they were. The sex appeal is why you opened the book. I wanted you to see this very iconic, powerful woman that, she's beautiful, but you moreover wanted to see her beat somebody up. That was my goal.
You don't want it to be all about the sexiness.
Well, no, I have a character for that. That's. But it's important. It's important not to dump all of that on that character and make this the lone character that has all of that. So Delilah has her own free expressions. Free expressions. So it's. I try to be subtle about it as opposed to be in your face about it. And you would, you're gonna just think about how well this hugs Hypercussion's ass. Come on. I mean,
Booty.
speedos do what they can do, but there's no hope for this. You know, you get the general shape of a male.
But I like that you guys thought about the trap in front, so you can go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey,
Mm.
it's fully functional.
It doesn't fold out the way you think it does, though.
Oh.
How do astronauts go pee? Well,
Buy the book and find out.
you remember that? Some kid asked Iron Man that in one of those movies. How do you go pee?
Just went.
Just like that.
Ding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if this was jumping at me, that's a piss yourself moment.
Yep. So, people, go sub to that mailing list now.
And don't forget, the Indiegogo for Wings of the Falcon, Wings of Peregrine, Wings of the Falcon. I'm so sorry. Peregrine, Wings of the Falcon is still available. Piper shaved her head. Shaved her head for that goal. All right. So these people are serious about this book. Okay. I don't think you can get any more serious than shaving your head. Okay.
She freaking shaved it on stream too, so you can go find it.
Especially with what's going on in the country right now. Okay. So if you had any doubts about Peregrine Wings of the Falcon, rest assured they should be set to rest now. Holy crap.
She sacrificed her luscious locks.
That's true, Soul. She is she's dressed. Yeah, she's dressed. Yep.
You have anything else you want to show us about it? Like any other images?
I don't know. Do I?
We
I don't know.
more.
Do you?
I don't. I probably do. Oh, there's been some confusion. There has been some confusion. I need to. I don't know if I need to, but I will. Hold on here. Where did I put that? There's out there in the wild world of Twitter, there's been some confusion about how the rescue soldiers fit into this story. Rescue soldiers, for lack of a better explanation, are my Power Rangers. They'll be featured in the Colossals #1 alongside the Colossals themselves. This is a rescue team. They're not like the Power Rangers in the sense that they have giant robots and fight giant monsters. That they rescue people, similar to how the Thunderbirds operate with special vehicles. This is why they're VT5, Vehicle Team 5. This is Captain Alejandro Escara, and he is, of course, the red guy. In this story, these heroes are Star Supreme's best friends. They're the only other people on Earth that truly understand why she does what she does and why she shepherds humanity the way she does. These people dedicated their lives to saving people 24/7. They didn't have private lives outside of their job, similar to how Star Supreme simply has her family outside of that. They only had each other. This is just one of the 6 of them. And of course, yes, why is it called VT5 when there's 6 of them? It's because the pink one was unexpected. She doesn't have a vehicle. That's why. So there's 5 vehicles and 6 people.
So she rides shotgun in one of them.
Yeah. The fast one.
So what's this?
Yeah.
So they're kind of like Star Supreme support team.
Yeah, it's
Essentially,
like damage
yeah.
control. You know what?
Essentially, they are the backup. If there is something that Star Supreme can't get to, the BT5 would be dispatched to make sure. Intercepts, the very fast one. Endurance is the one that evacuates the most people. Conquest is drilling and underground. rescue. Astro is, of course, space. Dive is, of course, deep water and underwater rescue. And Pixie is midair rescue. She uses a personal flight system that resembles pixie wings to rescue people who fall out of aircraft.
Hmm. Now, outside, are they? Do they have any capabilities outside of their vehicles?
The suits themselves act as exosuits. They have a 2-hour time limit on them. They're transmitted through the particle drive on their waists, seen right here on Alejandro. This device right here is worn when they're wearing their regular clothes, and it transmits kind of like how it's like a particle spread that transforms from particles into the armor itself. That lasts for 2 hours. It allows them to run at Olympic speeds, jump higher than Olympians, and strength rivaling, I would probably say they'd be able to pick up an ambulance, two of them together. So, yeah, they'd be able to pick up an ambulance.
Hmm.
These suits are also equipped with, of course, this isn't like a diagram one, but located here are fire suppression capsules. There's 12 gallons of fire suppressant dust inside of here, super compressed on itself. And back here is the vibro blade that folds out of here, and that's a vibrating metal blade that can cut through just about anything because of the frequency it vibrates at.
Got Mogwai Centurion joining the chat saying,
Hail, hail, Mogwai.
Hey, Mogwai, welcome aboard.
So yeah, this is like a really cool little universe that Cider's been putting together.
Yep. It's a very big book. Don't expect it to be a one and done situation. You're going to meet a lot of characters that you're going to need a minute to observe. I don't waste a single panel. I don't waste a single line stroke. Everything you see on here is meant to tell you something about these characters, about what they do, about what they're saying.
You can tell you've put a lot of thought into it, and that there's a lot of you've went down through every little minute detail.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the biggest question, the most important question for this show. Is there going to be a drawn-in tier, or especially maybe a die in the book tier? Because you know who, you know.
I was saving it for last.
Well, we are a little bit over an hour, so yeah, it's a good time.
That's my way of going.
But we do
wrap it up.
We do have. I am gonna say this. I want to keep it very simple, so it'll just be the variant covers. It'll be the tiers for this very first book, and then the second one, I will have a drawn-in section. But I just want to make sure that this first one is an absolute slam dunk, in the bank, all over with. I don't want any hiccups. I want to make it as simple as possible. So, in the Colossals #2, Mark of Merlin, absolutely there will be a drawn-in, die-in tier.
Ooh,
I'm not maybeing that. That's an absolutely. The only maybe is if the book gets funded, and that's not on my shoulders. I just got to make sure that enough people hear about it, and I tell them how much I love it.
We just got to work on getting the word out.
Right.
Yep.
It's up to you, the consumer, to decide if it's worthy of your money or not. And I hope, after all this time, that I do live up to hashtag the Tolkien of indie capes.
That is a pretty hefty, pretty big title.
Yes, it is.
But I think it's looking good so far.
Someday I'll release the Cider Marillion.
Into the Ciderverse. Maguire, into the Ciderverse. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, if you like creepypasta, I wrote some creepypasta. It's called the Project Katahdin. It's on my YouTube channel. I read it aloud with some fancy music. There's really no pictures, so it's good to put on if you've got 5 minutes. You don't need to look at your computer screen.
Crazy pasta? What's that?
Oh man, I'll have to show that to my niece then. She likes creepypasta.
What's creepypasta?
It's copyright free. You can. I use the music that's safe to use, and of course, I won't copyright it because so anytime you want to watch it, you can.
What is creepypasta?
Creepypasta is a form of writing from 4chan where it's like that green text story, but it's done to be creepy. So it's a story from the internet that can't be verified but creeps you out.
Okay. Not a 4chan type of yeah.
Yeah, it's a 4chan kind of thing.
So
But yeah, I do that, and I'll do more installments if more people want to hear it. If not, it's okay. Doesn't hurt my feelings.
And where can people find you?
They can find me at on YouTube as CiderHype. I like brand uniformity.
Soul is right on it. He's already popped it up on the link on the
Oh,
chat.
right to the video itself. Thank you, Soul Ion. I appreciate that.
That
The
is
great
why,
mods in here, man. Great mods.
that's why Soul is the officer.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't fuck around.
Nope.
How many people do we have watching?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Check.
I haven't watched.
Nobody goes and watches their own stream. Okay.
We have 3 people watching right now.
All right, so it's all right. This is safe then. If you want to read more of my creepy pastas, look up the YouTube videos main taxi driver stories.
Main taxi driver stories.
Yep. There's a couple of videos out. I think there's a 2-hour long special that reads my stories out. It's a robot voice.
Oh wow, 2 hours.
Yep. Some of them are broken down for 20 minutes. There's an Australian that reads my words, but he uses some colorful changes. So be prepared for some hard R's dropped where there shouldn't be. But yeah, I like that's how kind of I got into internet writing. Before that, I just kind of did fan fiction level stuff and character creation. Poetry. I won poetry contests as a teenager. And yeah, that's it. I decided to do this because I heard the call, the Comicsgate call, that you can do it. If you build it, they will come.
Mm-hmm.
All over the walls, ceiling, and the floor.
If you put the work and the hours in it, yep. Put the passion in it. So yeah, don't forget, guys. Like, sub, and share. And back to you, Chris, for the closing words, brother.
Oh dear.
Don't eat too much corn. Thanks, everybody.
Don't forget to sub to Tales of the Nadverse, launching soon, as soon as I'm done fulfilling Blood Hunt.
Yeah, Indiegogo doesn't even want to wait.
Where's my camera? Okay. That reminds me, I got in Rockabilly. I don't know if I showed it off on the last stream.
Well, make yourself the big picture there so everybody can see it.
How do I do that?
You click on your own picture.
Yep.
Like this? Oh, okay.
Voila.
Lesson learned.
There you go. Nice and glary.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that. That's the big, like, graphic novel 100 or whatever page. And then this is the new one.
Aha.
Yeah, I don't know if I showed that one off. I had gotten that in the mail. I need to make a tweet about it so people know that, Preston stuff's being.
Oh, right. Preston did a painting for Peregrine too.
Yep.
So this guy's art is legit, guys. If you can get your hands on some Rockabilly Road Trip, I highly recommend it. After Preston stuff starts to catch on, it's going to get more and more rare to get a copy of this guy's stuff. He's going to take off.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but Rockabilly Road Trip is closed now.
Yeah,
the one that's up now, it's Doc Salem.
And that's why, again, get Doc Salem too, but check the eBay. Make sure the eBay, listen to me, I sound like grandpa. Check the eBay. Don't forget to check the eBay.
Get into the Googles.
Yeah, and you get on the Googles and then find the eBay and the Rockabilly Road Trip. That's important. So yeah, you get a hold of that, man. Preston Acevedo is going to be collectible. Absolutely. I highly recommend. You've got these artists now like Simon getting started out here and like Preston getting started. You need to get a hold of these books now because they're going to be collectible later on.
Especially there's a Blood Hunt Doc Salem crossover coming 2021.
Yeah, his cover for Peregrine was the thing that kind of tipped me into finally backing. I was like,
It's a beautiful cover, man.
That's a really good looking cover.
Absolutely. And that character, I believe her name is Necrotica, is just absolutely it's like spooky doesn't cover it. It's almost harrowing. It's so you get that the last laugh, or what was that Batman one where the Joker put him through a fun house, Jim Gordon through a fun house. The Killing Joke.
Yeah.
It just gave me those feelings of like, this character is going to get like really turned inside out and pushed to her extreme with this character. It evoked those Killing Joke visuals from me. Excellent delivery from Preston.
Ooh, Soul got the Akira cover. Oh, nice, Soul. I thought about getting that one, but I was like, I gotta quit spending so much money.
Well, hey, we've got a lot of things coming down the chute here in the fall, so
know.
The Colossals won't be the only ones out there. So if after you back the Colossals, you still have money,
Well, Sim's dropping his net, then there's the Colossals, and I'm never gonna.
Yeah, Tales from Netverse is launching. And there's gonna be I'm working on that the Merc, the Skullbusters, and there's another thing.
All right, I gotta wrap this up.
Yep.
So I appreciate everybody coming in. If you'd be so kind as to subscribe and like and everything, because I think the YouTube took 3 of my subs from me.
See, he's talking like an old man too. The YouTube.
Yep, the YouTubes. And other than that, I don't have anything for myself to promote. So do sign up for the Colossals. Oh my gosh.
It's that corn hangover, man. It's that corn hangover.
Did you have your coffee this morning?
No, I didn't.
How dare you?
I know. It's called Coffee Heaven.
I know.
Coffee. I did.
I think it should just be Morning Heaven with Chris Heaven at this point.
Well, I had a coffee the last time, but today I didn't get a chance to go get one. I will the next one. But
okay.
Like, sub, and share.
Yep.
And keep an eye out. He also does CG comic book reviews. And he's getting used to all this streaming and promoting for himself. He's very good promoting everybody else, but, as you can see. So, give him a like.
Yep.
And see you all, what is it? Friday.
Yes,
next morning show.
Yep. Do we have a guest yet? No, I don't think we have a guest yet. I might see about getting Alizmat on. Or who knows?
Yeah, the Road Warrior Duck guy. Yeah.
We can have a feud between you two.
There's no feud between me and Alizmat. It's between the duck and the vampire.
But well, I'll see y'all Friday.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad you let me ramble for a while.
Oh, you don't have to thank us, Cider.
You don't have to thank us. We didn't know what to do about it either.
Thank you for coming, Cider, and sharing your universe with us.
Yeah, I always like to hear you talk about your stuff. You're clearly very passionate about it.
Thank you.
So,
good night, everybody.
Bye. It's good morning.